Most scientists generally agree that the universe had a beginning, and that it all started when the Big Bang happened, approximately 14 to 15 billion years ago. Science also generally agrees that the first living cells emerged about 4 billion years ago.
For life to have gotten the start that it needed for the process of evolution to take hold, at some point between the Big Bang and the first living cell, the proper formula of matter would have to come together in a very precise manner to complete the first DNA. According to what we understand based on science, this had about 10 to 11 billion years to work out. One of the most effective arguments that intelligent design proponents use to disprove evolution is probability. These arguments, involving mathematics, appear to be very sound. Can't argue with numbers, right? But we've got to be careful here. It gets complicated. And evolutionary proponents will argue that creationists manipulate the evidence. And some do.
Nonetheless, for evolution to work, you need a starting point. All living organisms are made up of cells, and DNA is necessary for all cells to exist.
Most of the creationists' probability arguments are geared towards demonstrating the improbability of the necessary elements ever coming together. Maybe you've heard the analogy about the monkey and the typewriter.
It goes something like this. DNA forming at random is about as probable as a monkey at a typewriter tapping out a page of Shakespeare. They argue that it's been estimated that it would take longer than the age of the entire universe for a monkey to actually type a page of Shakespeare.
Evolutionists may respond that this argument contains a hidden assumption, that the entire page has to be typed at once, or that the entire DNA strand has to be assembled at once. What if you build it piece by piece?
What if our monkey is allowed to keep typing letters until assembling a word in the sequence, and then goes on to the next word? Does that change the odds?
Well, does it? Does that really matter? I contend that whether or not a monkey could produce Shakespeare by tapping on a typewriter is irrelevant to the argument about the origin of life. By the end of this video, I'll have demonstrated why I believe this is true. Personally, I enjoy the arguments that employ more realistic forms of chance, like dice or cards. Consider the following. DNA coming together in precisely the pattern necessary to create the blueprint for life would be sort of like dealing a perfect game of bridge,
where all four hands receive a respective suit of cards.
Now here is a probability statistic that can be precisely calculated. The odds against this happening? Even if one could deal a full game of bridge once every second, there wouldn't be enough time from the Big Bang to the first cell to beat those odds. Comparatively, if dealing out a perfect game of bridge is equal to or less complicated than the formation of DNA, then it makes a pretty good case. Whether we're talking monkeys, dice, or cards, intelligent design and evolution arguments can go back and forth forever. Is the relationship relevant? Are the odds calculated correctly? Are there any hidden assumptions? What are the chances? But aren't we missing something? Try this. Take a standard deck of cards, place them on the kitchen table, and see how long it takes for them to deal themselves into a perfect hand of bridge. Someone has to deal the cards.